What's something that you believe in and fight for?
I didn't come up with that tagline, so. I don't know. I mean, I guess this sounds, boring, but I mean, honestly, it's my kids, my family. That's really the only thing I fight for, I guess.
It's interesting that you would say that because your last two books, Breaking Dawn and Host, both had children in pretty difficult, intense situations. Was that on purpose because family is so important, or is that just how the story played out?
I mean, I don't ever do anything on purpose, but I don't think it's an accident that my stories go toward that direction because the relationship I have with my children, the amount of time I spend worrying about them, the amount of my mind that they control at any given point, that so much of me belongs to them. I think my stories will always have some element that will reflect back to the way I feel about them because they're this. My family is the strongest relationship and the most life-changing one in my life where, it's made me a different person, and so that's going to come out in the stories subconsciously all the time.
Kind of off subject, but what's going on with Anna Dressed in Blood?
We're at a very early stage with the development. We're working on finding a writer for the script, but Down a Dark Hall is sort of the first on the conveyor belt. I don't know how to say that right. And so that one, when we get that to a place, then we'll kind of move on to Anna.
There were a couple different untimely outcomes for some of the characters in the film rather than the book. Will that influence you writing their characters?
Untimely outcomes, what do you mean?
Like Aaron and Brant dying or the father killing himself?
No. I mean, the father killing himself happens in the novel. That's the same, although it's a little visually different out in the bayou. It's really cool in the movie. But I mean, Aaron and Brant would still. I'm not going to off them because they'll still be part of the story. I don't know. I mean, I think that there are some things that will affect the fact that Sunny doesn't appear in the story.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be because she's a larger character, and so that's somebody that is going to have to. We're going to have to do something there. I mean, we're lucky we got Burns in because that was the very end, and he's also someone that I think when they originally were doing it, they were looking at hiring someone who was very physically different, just a day player in Louisiana, and I was like, oh, you might not want to trial yourself with that. Just saying. Sometimes it's hard to be like, oh, just trust me on this one. Let's go a little younger. Let's not have him be 60. How's that?
So the prank thing is really vague, and Jake asked us to prank you, but I can't do it.
Of course he did, because he's on the losing end right now, and now I'm living in fear.
We want to ask your advice about a prank that we plan on doing to him.
Okay, I can do that.
So Max gave us this idea that's why this is here, to have him sign it, and as he turns around, I act like I'm sneezing and spray a bottle of Evian mist on him.
Poor Jake and his germophobia. I don't know. He might not laugh at that one. I think the prank war needs to end. I mean, we've spent a lot of time together in the last month. We've heard the same answers from each other for a month. We're all really bored with each other. And, I mean, actually, I love those kids. They're really fun. But we are tired a lot and kind of looking for ways to have fun. And the ping pong ball thing...
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious last night. During the signing, it wasn't as hilarious. It's like, what am I supposed to do with all these ping pong balls? But you don't give me bullets and not expect me to shoot them at you. So that was his mistake. But so I don't know. I hope it ends because I'm next if it doesn't.
So on set...
Hold on, let me get...
Okay, you started as an author. Now you're doing production. Do you see yourself long-term splitting writing and also being a producer? Do you really like producing? It seems like you do.
I do. You know, it's kind of... I don't know. Have you ever read a book and, like, imagined how it would be to film and, like, the actors and sort of cast in your head? And I've always done that a little bit. I like movie adaptations. I almost always prefer the book. I can think of only one exception. And I think that's just something that I find fun. It's like, dollhouses and dressing up your Barbies and whatever. It's like playing a game. It's a whole different kind of creativity. It's a more collaborative space where you actually have people to hang out with who aren't your imaginary friends, which can be nice too. But the writing is a lot, it's more of a pure form for a creative outlet. You don't have to compromise on anything. Actors don't tell you no. You don't have to cut scenes out for length. You can do whatever you want, and it's a more free situation, but you also have to have private time to do it, which is really hard to come by, even without the movies. My kids are growing up. They're more interactive. It's hard for me to like really disconnect my brain from them as much as I could when they were little and didn't have as many conversations going on. But so I do want to do both. I don't want to be as active as a producer, physically there all the time. I'd rather be more involved at the beginning stages, the scripting, the casting, that kind of stuff where I could do from home. And that's why I have a partner, because she's going to do all the physical stuff. And I'll just sit home and say, how's it going? Is it great? Awesome. That's it. So I'll be home writing, and she'll be out in the dirt and the dust and staying up all night doing night shoots. It's going to be perfect.
What was the exception? You said there was one movie of
Probably the Bourne movies.
Okay.
I like that he really is an assassin. It kind of I'd seen the movies first, and then you read the book, and it's all cop out, and he's actually a good guy. No, I wanted to be a killer. Anyway. So I like that. All right, there was another one back here.
I was going back to the pranks, but being on set with everybody, Jake was obviously the most of the prankster.
Yeah, we didn't prank that much on set. Because there's a lot to engage you, and you've got really long hours and everything. There's a lot of repetition on a press tour, and then you're kind of looking for an outlet. Whereas on set, there's a lot to do mentally. Jake, particularly, all of them do, but Jake takes his role very seriously. He very much gets into that space where the character is, and so he's thinking like that and trying to be that person. And so it kept him from too much mischief because he was very busy.
And is there anything special that you took or was given?
I was given. I've never taken anything, and sometimes I wish I had. It's like, I would have liked that, but I I felt bad. So I was given 2 things. One, I have one of the peace sprays, which is really cool and probably the coolest thing I own. I'm supposed to get a cryopod. I haven't yet. I'm looking forward to that. And then I have a rock that we didn't use. In the book, there's a scene where she has the scar on her face, and it's a big scar. It's supposed to be the palm of her hand, and he has to hit her with the rock. And for a multitude of reasons, we didn't do that, but we planned on it. And so I have this great, it looks so real, and it's out of foam. And it's my favorite thing because when I first got home, I was throwing it at everybody. And, I'm like, oh, yeah, look at this rock I got from set. And they duck, and it's just this foam thing that doesn't hurt. And so I had a lot of fun with that, but it doesn't actually appear in the movie. I also have teacups from Austin Land. One of them from a scene that was cut, and then one that they use in the scenes.
What is happening with Austin Land?
Sony Classics purchased it at Sundance, and it's supposed to come out end of summer, hopefully. I'm excited for it to come out. It's really funny.
I love the book. Can't wait to see the movie.
Thank you.
So I know